يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله صلى الله على محمد.
As Muslims all over the world face Qiblah for prayers, so do all schools focus on Qiblah schools to emulate beautiful innovations. Our nursery and primary schools enjoy good teaching aid facilities as our team of qualified and committed teachers leave no stone unturned, ranging from academics to moral and religious teachings. Qiblah High School as well is a place to be with spacious playground, very conducive learning environment, library, ICT and indoor games rooms are not only well stocked but also equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. Our students perform brilliantly well at all external examinations as well as various core and extracurricular activities. Qiblah schools, comprising of preparatory and high schools, is at plot 2 to 5 Ibadan Southwest Multipurpose Scheme at Leshiloye, Ibadan. Telephone 0805-272-5253 or 0803-313-2027. Qiblah schools, we set the pace.
Alhamdulillah wa kafa, thumma salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in, amma ba'du, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the universe. We adore Him, we glorify His name. We testify to His oneness that He has no associate, He has no partner. He alone we worship and He alone we ask for help. We call it testify to the messengership and prophet to the Holy Prophet Muhammad. May the peace and benediction of Allah be upon his noble soul, his household, his companions, and the majority of Muslims till the day of accountability. You are welcome to your favorite program, Message from Qiblah, sponsored by Qiblah Schools, Leshiloye, Ibadan. Today, we shall continue from where we stopped yesterday on the concept of Zakatul-fitr. Having established that Zakatul-fitr is an obligatory charity tax after Ramadan, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ascribes our success with the payment of Zakatul-fitr, where it says, indeed, he is successful who purifies himself. I'm told us that the meaning of this expression is that he who observes the payment of Zakatul-fitr is indeed successful, according to the translation by Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. Today, we want to look at the kinds of food from which Zakatul-fitr can be paid. Zakatul-fitr is payable from all forms of food that is popular in a community or in a country. So any kind of food that is popular in a community or in a country, it is from those food items we can pay our Zakatul-fitr. Although we have it in our days, the Zakatul-fitr was paid from dates during the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ, and the scholars they told us that that was the kind of food popular in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, dates, barley, oats, and so on and so forth. But in our own time, the common food items in our community now, we have rice, we have beans, and we have others. But the one that there is no home where it is not eaten is rice. That's the most common food item we have in our community. So rice is eaten in every home. So at every home, rice is consumed. So if we choose to pay our Zakatul-fitr with rice, the better it is. And if we choose other forms of food item like beans, like maize, and so on and so forth, it's equally good. But we have to consider the one that will be very easy for the recipient to turn to food that he will eat on the day of Eid. Take for instance, if you give out maize, dry maize, as Zakatul-fitr, and we know before dry maize can be processed and converted to food, it takes time. So that may not be ready as food on the day of Eid. So the one that will be ready as food on the day of Eid, that is the best kind of food from which we can pay our Zakatul-fitr. And the measurement of this Zakatul-fitr, that is the quantity, is sa'u. That is 1 sa'u. And this 1 sa'u is arba'at amdad. That is, a sa'u is made up of 4 mudus. We have mudus in our neighborhood, and everybody is familiar with mudu. So that mudu that we are familiar with is a kind of scale or a kind of measurement. So 4 of it is to be paid as Zakatul-fitr per head. So it means if the man want to pay Zakatul-fitr upon his household, so it means he pays 4 mudu on himself, 4 mudu on his wife, and 4 mudus per each child. So it means this payment of Zakatul-fitr should be 4 mudus per head. So the kind of food you now want to use, so 4 mudus of that food item goes for 1 person. So this is what the scholars, they have told us concerning the measurement of Zakatul-fitr. So, and we have been warned that money is not an alternative to food in the payment of Zakatul-fitr. We are not to use money as an alternative, except if circumstance calls for it. And in a situation where circumstance does not call for it, it means we have to use food item, because that's what was used in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ and our pious predecessors. We have no record that any one of them translated Zakatul-fitr or translated food into money. So money was never used as an alternative to food in the life of the Prophet as well as our pious predecessors. So we should not use money to pay our Zakatul-fitr. Zakatul-fitr is meant to be paid from food item and popular food item in the community. So using money to pay Zakatul-fitr is heretical. It's an heresy, it's an innovation, because it has no basis in Islam. Though the scholars, they have told us that if there is need to convert it to money, there's no issue about that, as long as the reason is permissible in Islam. Take for instance now, there's nobody to collect Zakatul-fitr in the town. Every one of them is rich and they are self-sufficient. The Zakatul-fitr has to be transported to neighboring town or to another community, and it may take them a day or 2 days before reaching that community, such that if you want to use food item, there is tendency that it will get spoiled before the delivery day. So in that case, if it is monetized, there's no problem, it will be monetized. Then when the money gets to that country or to that community, they will not be used to buy food items for the beneficiaries. That is the explanation of the scholars. But in a situation whereby we have needy Muslim families that are in need of food on the day of Eid, we don't transform our Zakatul-fitr into money for them. We give them food item. So if you have given them food, we want to do a kind of added charity, and we add money to it, so we get reward for that as charity. But the reward of Zakatul-fitr goes for the what? For the food item that we have paid. But if we add money to it, the better it is, because that's another charity that will go to our records of deed. And the payment should be made a day or 2 days to Eid, or on the day of Eid. So the scholars, they said, the payment of Zakat-fitr is incumbent on the day of Eid. In fact, that is the best day in which we can pay our Zakat-fitr. Because if food is given to someone who is needy, who is in need of what to eat, like 5 days, 6 days to eat, there is tendency that the food will have been exhausted before the day of festival, before the day of Eid. And the purpose of doing Zakat-fitr will be defeated. Because on the day of Eid, that person will have nothing to eat again. So that is why we have to observe the payment of Zakat-fitr on the day of Eid. Although the scholars they said we can pay it a day or 2 days, because we have among our past predecessors that used to pay his Zakat-fitr 2 days before the Eid day. Why we have to pay it before the Eid day or on the Eid day and not after the Eid? It's because of the hadith of the Prophet. The Prophet was reported to have said, فَمَنْ أَدَّاءَ قَبْلَ الصَّلَاةِ فَهِيَ الزَّكَاةُ مَقْبُولَةٌ وَمَنْ أَدَاءَ بَعْدَ الصَّلَاةِ فَهِيَ صَدَقَةٌ مِنَ الصَّدَقَاتِ. That whoever pays Zakat-fitr before Salah is observed, that is the Eid prayer, then فَهِيَ الزَّكَاةُ مَقْبُولَةٌ. That is the acceptable Zakat-fitr. وَمَنْ أَدَاءَ بَعْدَ الصَّلَاةِ. Whoever pays his own after the Eid prayer has been said, then فَهِيَ صَدَقَةٌ مِنَ الصَّدَقَاتِ. That is just an ordinary charity. The person may not have reward for paying Zakat-fitr, but he have reward for making an ordinary charity. And that is telling us that we have to be vigilant, have to be conscious of the time in which we pay our Zakat-fitr. If we cannot pay it a day to Eid day, let's ensure that we pay it on the Eid day and we give it to someone who is needy in our neighborhood. And we also need to take note that whoever doesn't own his daily meal, it is not compulsory on that person to pay Zakat-fitr. So anyone that is capable of feeding himself on a daily basis, he has provisions for himself, he has means of sustenance. So that is the person that will pay Zakat-fitr. He who doesn't own his daily meal, that person has been exempted from paying Zakat-fitr. And as a matter of fact, the person is entitled to collect Zakat-fitr. And a rich wife can pay a Zakat-fitr to a poor husband. It's permissible in Islam. A rich wife can pay a Zakat-fitr to her husband who is poor. So it's permissible to do that. And likewise, it is permissible that Zakat-fitr that is paid by many people to be given to just a person, and the one paid by a person to be distributed among many people. Which, either way, it is permissible in Sharia, and we should note that Zakat-fitr is not expected to be transferred from one place to another except in the case of necessity. We pray that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us better understanding of this message and make the payment of Zakat-fitr possible for us and convenient for us in this month of Ramadan. As we are approaching the end of Ramadan, may Allah spare our life till the end of Ramadan and beyond. Ya la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. أقول ما تسمعون أستغفر الله لكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك إليك. Till tomorrow we shall be meeting again. My name is Rashid Musa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Talking of schools with clear vision and mission, Qiblah schools maintain a comfortable lead.
With varieties stocked for all ages, children don't miss home. Our teachers are dedicated, caring, and hardworking, and that's why we stand out among our equals.
Qiblah schools is situated in a serene environment with well-ventilated classrooms,
standard laboratory,
fully stocked library,
and ICT room.
School bus operates to move students to and fro with paths
and other facilities at hand
to develop and all-round students.
The fear of God is not left behind, as we are not only taught the word of God, but also made to practice under the supervision of our well-informed malams.
Situated at plot 2 to 5 Ibadan Southwest Local Government Multipurpose Scheme, Alesh Lawyer, Ibadan.
Telephone 0805 272 5253
0803 313 2027.
Qiblah schools, learning with direction.
يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله رسول الله